to the Philippines. You know, all of you are corrupt. I will unveil to the world the hypocrisy of your corrupt country. Again, no one pays attention to the Philippines at the moment.
All right, going back to you and him, because this really started between, well, you and him, and many people's names have already been dragged. So let's go to the main point.
Okay.
Do you actually owe him 70,000 US dollars?
Absolutely not. First and foremost, it's 70,000 Australian dollars.
And this amount represents what? Did this amount actually change hands between the two of you?
You know, okay, well, this requires a story of how we met. We met in February of last year. You know, he fell in love with this country. It was his first time here. And I think we as Filipinos, as being very hospitable, he approached me and asked for my tips. You know, okay, hey, what's a nice place to go to? And, you know, we became friends. We started our friendship there. And eventually, you know, we corresponded when he went back to Australia, and he expressed a desire. And so, you know, I was the only one he trusted here in the Philippines. So he sent, you know, he had to send money here to the Philippines to fund his living here in the Philippines. And, you know, since he is a foreigner here in the country and I'm a local citizen, you know, it was going to be easier. And so I said, okay, that's fine with me. Okay? I mean, he lived like a king here in the Philippines. He was jobless for the 7 months that he lived in this country. He had no... We all know that Boracay places, and it is in fact a very expensive place to stay. I found him a house for him to stay in the island.
So the whole restaurant, opening a restaurant, all of that is completely false?
I have no business plans with him whatsoever.
Okay, in the blog, it does. It seems to be very clear to everyone who's read the blog and participated in it that you so allegedly begged him for that amount. Apparently, this amount was misrepresented. There was no. It was mishandled, and there was no real intention to make it into a business, and that when he wanted to get the $70,000 back, you were unreachable. So this amount of 70,000, you mean it doesn't exist? I mean, you never even really asked for the money. He never.
I think was the one he said. Was that part just to fund his lifestyle, and you were using your sister's name as a?
Well, my sister only received transmissions, and that was because I was out of the country and certainly paid in his behalf. You know. So my sister half, but of course all of that went to him.
And then, but why not? I think his number one question was, because I spoke with him about 2 hours ago.
Yes.
The first question off his mind is, how come you did not answer his phone calls? He was calling you repeatedly before the blog came out, before it got really large and really huge.
That is presently in court, you know, on vexation, because he has sent us so many messages. I mean, he's sent my lawyers messages. I think he's posted that on his website. We've tried to communicate with him properly, and he would always respond in a very violent manner. You know, so what's the point of entertaining any more of his
affected lives and what you think about it, Mo? You know what you think about that. But just to get it out of the way, he wants me to ask you, do you deny she has posted on the blog?
A cocaine addict.
Okay, so that is an outright denial.
Of course.
You are aware that people can react to the blog.
Of course.
And that people would probably, you know, because some people are not a cocaine addict.
Absolutely.
Okay. What about the many accusations leveled by others in the comment section? Have you read all of the comments?
No. No, some of them, and I've heard from my family about them.
So again, about the Western Union receipts.
Right.
So you are ready to face that in court, that if he comes out with all those receipts, you will be able to refute it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and he says, life savings, how did you spend it? That's his question.
First and foremost, I didn't have any money to spend from him. He was given every bit of it.
Okay. There are questions also for some of the family members, and which we will ask a little later. Ask DJ who he really is, what he is capable of, the many lives he has tampered with. Ask him why he cheated on me. And
I mean, why bring all sorts of people into the issue? Obviously, he's brought in a lot to the issue. You know, this person, I admit, is very clever, and he wants to drag in famous personalities, names into the issue to make this blog more sensational than it already is. Okay, with regards to calling me a thief, I may be many things. My share of my mistakes. I am saint. One thing I am not a.
May I ask, how's your relationship with your friends? The friends that have been named, do they support you, or are they like trying to get away from you now that their names have been implicated with an ex-boyfriend?
Mm-hmm. Well, situations like this, present a lot of strain in your relationships with a lot of people. And it is through such stressful times and such situations where you find out who your real friends are. And I have been sending very encouraging messages via email, via text, via phone calls from my close friends who are supporting.
Already metamorphosed. Is your sure that you've read what he's written?
Yes, I'm very unfortunate, and this actually affected me a lot because Joel was a dear friend, and his passing, affected a lot of his close friends, including. And last year, this was investigated by the police. There was an autopsy, and it all revealed that he died of hemorrhagic pancreatitis, which we commonly know as mangungut. And I've been in touch with his family. They're aware of the blog. They're aware of Out There by Joel Tantoko, and it's sad he's bringing dead people up in his blog. And
so this is a fact. Style is very personal,
yes.
And it's very difficult to judge in the same way that the law makes a distinction between pushers and victims or users. But what do you think about what a lot of people have already observed, as they say, as a
that I'm all for that. I've seen too many of my close friends succumb to drug addiction, and it can ruin and destroy lives.
Why do you think, though, if I may add, why do you think Brian added the drug angle if it wasn't true? Why not just stick with the thief angle to it all? I mean, because he's very specific. If you read the blogs, he's very specific.
You mean accusing...
right, not just him,
DJ.
but your very close friends on...
Most, I'm not aware of these photos that...
okay, I believe there are a couple of photos that I mean, I don't know if it's direct, but it's very close to it. So, and it just adds again to the believability of his blog.
Well, he wants to sensationalize this blog, and I think since drugs is a huge issue of intrigue, the use of drugs by celebrities and by society, he's using this to bring more attention to his blog. That's his aim.
Well, we have,
of course.
And we made it very clear with his family that these questions, DJ, that these questions may arise, and that this is exactly why they're here. It is on a blog, but of course they want to talk about this on television. All right, so for you.
For myself.
Did you have, do you work now?
Yeah, well, I still work for my family business. For this, I was a teacher at an institution. But when this blog started out, I had to call my dean, I have a close relationship with, and I told her, I feel this is going to be a scandal. I don't want the school to be put on spot. So I voluntarily resigned from the institution. I didn't want a spot to be put on this.
Why? Why is that?
I would like to be here with my family. I would like to show him I'm not afraid of him, that I would like to defend myself and my family.
So all this, because one of the other questions of Mr. Gurel is for the proper time.
We were carefully planning, for our actions, and in fact, if I may relate to you, the action that we're taking right now. Okay, I mean, I have my brilliant attorney who is also with us today. Okay, aside from that, I'm talking to a U.S. internet lawyer. I'm a barrister. A barrister is what you call a lawyer in Oslo. It is not about the money.
Your family, your friends, why not just pay up? Well, first of all, you deny that you owe him money.
Absolutely.
Because if you did owe me money, peace of mind and your health, to just give him what he needs as a friend. He is sick, and what about the $70,000?
He did add, though, that
principles involved here. This is outright blackmail and extortion. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm planning to go the length in pursuing this matter, his accusations and his allegations against me, my family, and those close to me. And this will likely cost me more than $70,000. Everyone knows it's expensive to hire a lawyer here, abroad, and also in Australia. But issue here is not about money. It's about fighting for my moral principles. It's about fighting for the dignity of my family and for my friends. It's also fighting for the honor of the Filipino people who he has insulted in his blog.
So you are pursuing this in court. You mentioned a while ago you will be filing a case?
Absolutely.